Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming here. So today we'll be presenting the topic, which is entitled Understanding Abusive Behavior Between Online and Offline Discussions, Group Discussions. So I would like to begin by thanking the co-authors with the supervisor Tim Stewart and Joemon, Jose, and Andrew Hoskins, and Catherine Happer. So what I'm going to do during this talk is to go over the case study that we have done over the last year among graduate students to be able to understand the differences between two settings. And sorry, I'm just trying to hopefully find slides there. Okay. Okay. So the growth of online discussion in social platforms in recent decades has essentially reshaped the way we communicate with one another. However, this has encountered fundamental transformation, which has produced many advantages and also disadvantages, including moderation or be able to moderate online systems and to be able to keep up the velocity in the right directions among online communities. So a recent study, which was conducted by Pro Research, showed that at least 1 out of 5 people were victim of online abuse, most likely young ages from 18 to 24. So it's actually described a lot of the main forms of online harassments, including name calling and physical threats and stalking and sexual harassment as well. So one particular and significant aspect is understanding how people behave inside and outside the community. So recent tragic incidents were reported showing a hate crime or hate violence attack during the last 2 months in New Zealand and Sri Lanka as well. So these attacks were actually had some sort of communication through these social platforms, including 4chan or 8chan and Facebook as well. So this is how we then decided to move on with the trying to understand. So the main reason that we chose to choose this direction, finding the differences between online and offline, is that there is a definition found by or stated by the UK Home Office, which state that there is no differences between the online and offline discussions. They should behave similarly. They should behave similarly. So eventually, what we wanted to do, we wanted to understand the differences between the online and offline, and we also were aiming to find the coherence behavior between both settings to be able to at least prove that we can predict such behavior between the both settings, and try to also correlate what factors could be understood from or defined as an abusive behavior or unusual behavior between both settings. So prior work characterized the differences between online and offline by conducting a study to understand the causes for accepting online invitation and offline invitation, whereas the other part of this research was also conducted to find or characterize the antisocial behavior, which was either led by abnormal causes, or was also proven to be due to the setting of or features of a platform. Okay, so in order to construct the experiment, we started with we began with inviting the students to join the study, explaining the whole procedure and process, so that they can join the study. And then during that, we also added a pre-survey link, which was meant to collect the data from the participants, data including daily activities of social platforms, or if they have ever witnessed or experienced such abuse behavior, online abuse behavior. So we wanted to see whether this also has to do with the way that they communicate, or try to at least get a sense of that perspective. So the topic was also, during the pre-survey, we also asked them to choose at least 4 or 5 categories, topics, to also help them to discuss something that they like, because if they don't like the discussion, they will not be able to communicate with one another. So we wanted to make sure that we structure the group based on the gender ratio and background and so on. So we, thank you. Okay, sure. Thank you. Sorry about that. Thanks. Thank you. Should be working. Yep. Yeah, sure. Okay. Let's go. Okay, so this is the way that we were constructing the study to be able to collect the data from both settings, online and offline. The first step was to collect the data, as I was explaining, and then the second part was to be able to structure the group based on what we have, or the participant based on the gender, based on academic level, and so on age. So the topics were selected from Google Trends and also from pros and cons to be able to stimulate the discussions. Each discussion, each group discussion was also recorded in person by the researcher, and then the online group was also all the online discussions was also conducted in our platform and synchronized right after the group was finished for each meeting. So the meetings was varied from 15 to 20 minutes for each meeting, for each discussion. So after that, we send a link as well, a questionnaire to see how how they reflect their discussions, what are the things that they liked, or just to give an example of something that was an abuse during the discussion. So so we had 15 participants. The 10 was male, and then the rest was female, and we split these 15 to 4 groups, either either group of 3 or 5. So to also again to be able to structure the background. Okay, so the topics that were selected was topic 1 and topic 5. So topic 1 is it's a political topic, which is about the death penalty, if it's allowed, and then they had to discuss that online and offline as well. And the other topic was it's a sort of technical and social topic. So it's about social networking and how good is that to the society. So the way that we structure this is to be able to allow each group to participate in one topic per setting. So if they, for example, did this online, the topic, the political topic, they should do the other topic, which is Q5, and so on. So this is an example of both settings, online and offline. So on the right, you can see the offline or in-person discussion, group discussion, whereas the left is the online, which was also about Q5. That's the social network effects on the societies. So the online discussions tend to show more, to stay off topic most of the time, especially in political view and political discussions. And I will show you some of the results in the following slides. And it's also less engaging as well. So to be able to get the sense of the findings of what we had, we conducted linguistic analysis, doing the cosine and things like that to find the differences, and show you that since I'm running out of time. So all the three, A to C, showed very significant results, negative emotion and subjectivity, and then text similarities between both settings and for each group. So we have realized at the end of the study that we doing study like this would be much better if we did it with a peer group who have similar interests, similar projects, or something like that. That would really help to get the better sense of the behavior. So the sample size was also not representative. It's a small sample size. So it was more about exploring whether we can get something out of this or not as a starting point. So yes, as I was saying, so that will be ahead of us to do to conduct a longitudinal study for a larger group and see what are the how they behave, and also provide further linguistics tools analysis as well as audio. Okay, so we've showed the initial case study of this, and we also show you the methodology of how we did the data collection of that, and we also shared with you some of the promising results that also need to be done in a larger scale in the future. Okay, that's all. Thank you so much.
All right, open it up to questions. Let's thank our speaker, and thank you for moving forward without the slides for the technical difficulties. Thank you.